Hello, YouTubers. Terry and Marcia here. We're making a video today of 101 tips and modifications we made to our new motorhome. We've had this motorhome about 2 months and got it road ready the way we like it, and we'll be doing more later. But it's a 2013 Thor Hurricane on a F53 chassis. You want to tell us more about it?
Yes, we named it Nimbus after an albino loggerhead turtle at the North Carolina Aquarium because I love sea turtles.
You like turtles?
Yes.
What's that on your ear? A turtle?
Yes, and on my wrist.
On your wrist.
Yeah.
Okay. More about turtles later. So let's get this underway. And first, I want to give you a tip on what happens if you suddenly discover a crack is developed in your window and it's taking off and running all over the place. Walmart sells a little drill bit. I hope that's on it. The reflection's hard to see, but it will actually cut into glass and make a small hole. And you can put a little hole about 2 millimeters above the crack and stop it from cracking. This is a $5,000 windshield to replace. And of course we have insurance, but it's a $500 deductible, which is pretty high. And we have to drive 2 hours and drop it off for about a week and come back to get it for a new window to be put in there. But we wanted to make these things first, and it's a terrible inconvenience, and it may get another rock later after we replace it. So we're going to live with this for a little while. But getting that $7 bit and making a hole, other drill bits will not make that hole. And you just drill a little ways in there, not real deep, and stop the crack from running. Hopefully you never have to do that, but there's a tip for you if you have a motorhome or your truck windshield develops a crack. We're going inside now because we're going to do the inside first, and then the second video we will go around the outside. So the first thing here is we go in, we'll see we we got a big rug from Lowe's and cut it into 4 pieces and covered the steps and bolted them in. This helps keep from slipping, and it holds the rug down so the corners are not turned up for tripping hazards. Have another rug right here. These rugs tend to pick up the grass pretty good, and it's very important to have your rugs secure where they don't slide on the floor or turn up on the corners. Originally we had 3 rugs in here to keep from, they were slipping, so it was so slippery on the vinyl, and the corners were turned up. In our old motorhome we had a rug that wasn't secure, and Marcia came in and tripped, and her head hit on the dining room table, which was opposite of the steps in that older motorhome. And then I've seen videos. I think his name is Sean from the Long Honeymoon, broke his ankle and was really in bad shape for a long time when he left out and twisted his ankle. So I got this carpet here from Lowe's. It was the last 6 feet on the roll. It was $100 worth, but they gave it to us for half price because it was considered a remnant, and it made 3 of these runners. And even though it's 15 foot long, it wasn't quite long enough. We had to splice a little bit more onto the end, but it's all secure. It's screwed down at places across from the door. We even have this piece of wood here that keeps things from sliding out from under the bed, and it holds it down. So to make your motorhome safe, you want to address any tripping hazards. And another thing that we had to deal with is the switch is way down there to turn on these lights up here, which is okay if you're coming in, but if you want to turn them off, you got to go down in that hole, and it may be dark. You could fall easily. So one of my first modifications was to add the switch here where we can turn the light on and off from up here without going down the hole. And it turned out to be a bigger project than I thought, because all this part here is solid, and to go through there I had to drill holes through the studs to get to the switch down there to wire it in, but that makes it much safer. And speaking of safety, you need a good smoke detector and at least 4 fire extinguishers. You need one in the front, one in the back, and the storage on both sides of your RV, because if something happens outside, you don't want to have to go all the way around the RV to find a fire extinguisher. Protect your unit. So now we'll take a look at the front. One of the first things I did was these little folder holders. This motorhome was used as a mobile sonogram unit for a hospital, and they had a bunch of these folders in the back, so I moved one on each side, and they turned out to be very handy for storing sunglasses and little items rather than just laying them on the floor. And we also put up little mirrors where we could see in the back. Make sure I didn't make my coffee and set it on the table before I pull out. Marcia has one on her side. And we both have our headphones, so if she doesn't want to listen to Skinner and she wants to listen to her book, we can just do Bluetooth to our phones and have our entertainment whatever we want. I added a little clock there and used Velcro to hold it down. And this may not seem like a big thing, but hardly any motorhomes have cup holders that are the right size. They're usually so skinny. So I had to cut this out and work on this to make it fit, because especially Marcia's cup was up like this. It wouldn't go in, and we keep our phones in the middle there, and if it tips over, it's going to spill into the phones. And so I addressed that problem and straightened it out. The other thing I want to mention, in motorhomes, almost all your screws use these number 2 bits. They're not Phillips like this, but there may be some. So where did it go? Okay. There. Those are pretty much standard through other places, but